glad everybody's here. It's a good turnout. And my friend here, we've ghost hunted for about 20 plus years.
God, it's been that long.
Yeah, I think I just made him age a little more. There's another white one right there. Invited my friend Justin Bigby. He is our skeptic for this discussion. He will teach us all to be skeptical. Because back in the day, everything was a ghost. I'll be the first to admit, I was like, what's that? It's a ghost. What's that? It's a ghost. And then he reeled it in. Realism.
I showed up and ruined his party.
Yeah.
So it's not that I want to train you to be a skeptic. What I bring to the party, so to speak, is a different perspective on what we think we see, what we think we hear. Now I've captured a lot of video, captured a lot of audio. We've done a lot of things, encountered a lot of things. I've physically been wet my pants on one thing before, body under Chris's house. Yeah.
Long story, we get that.
Yeah. Because there's a thing which you may or may not know, depending on how deep you went into psychologies within schools, talking about confirmation bias, which is basically you're going to see or hear what you expect to see or hear, right? So I'm going to this house where there's a body under the house. So when I crawled under the house to find this body, God damn it, I found the body, which is why. So I'll go ahead and fill in this story real quick. We had a friend
really wants to know.
who had happenings at his house, and we were picking up particularly strong readings in the kitchen area with our various instrumentations. So, and he said that he would see certain things at certain times of the night within the kitchen. So I'm curious why here, why not the rest of the house? So one of the things he was seeing is he would see these weird flashes that show up on his wall when he's in the kitchen and he's in the dining room wall. He'd see these little flashes. So after about a half hour or so of looking around, I found out when you turn on that particular light over there and you open the microwave, get that flash, right? So I found what happens. What he thought he saw, and he did see it. But he interpreted it as something else. It's a ghost or it's a spirit passing by, and because I was out of the corner of his eye. Because when you open the microwave, you're not looking over there, but you catch it. So he said, however, I think there's something underneath the floor because I always feel this presence right here. So I don't know what people feel, gastrointestinal problems, whatever. At the time, I was the smallest of the group. So they had a crawl space, and it was my job to go underneath to see what was under the house, if there was anything under the house. And so I'm literally on my hands and knees crawling under this crawl space. I have a little light on, and God damn it, I see this form laying at the back corner of the foundation. It looks exactly like a body bag. Toes, you can see the point of the head. I'm what? Shit. So, well, actually, more piss. I want piss. I said, all right, I'm already here. Let's go take a look. So, because I can't back out now. And I was kind of excited. It's my first body. So I crawl on over there, and
Christmas for the morbid.
I crawl on. So I'm expecting a stink. I'm not getting a stink. It should be a body. Should smell.
I think you mentioned John Wayne Gacy. It's like Gacy's house.
So I'm crawling up, and I kind of have them on the mic and on the walkie. And I'm crawling up, and So I have to touch it, you know, of course, it's there. So it's basically like a thick tarp that's just laid down, and it's just weighted down. It's not wrapped, so it's kind of like a blanket. But they're somebody held the edges down with various rocks and sticks and whatnot around the edges and whatnot. So why did I start at the head? I don't know. I should have started at the feet, but I started at the head, and I pull it back. And so contractors are sick mofos. So when contractors are building and laying foundations, instead of properly disposing of their waste, like they should, because you see these dumpsters outside of construction houses, so they're supposed to throw stuff away. Well, they didn't want to throw stuff away, so they piled everything down underneath the house, and then they tucked it underneath, and they made it look like a body right there. So it was a pile of construction waste. So I soiled my pants for nothing, but I found out there wasn't a dead body in the house. So confirmation bias told me, well, he's having problems upstairs. He's seeing things. He's feeling things. I see a form laying under the house. It's got to be a dead body. So
you showed us pictures, and it did.
It was
looked like a dead body.
Yeah, and so
I was telling the owner, a friend, I said, you might have the police here.
Yeah.
So this may go from an actual ghost investigation to a criminal investigation.
I've heard of investigation.
So you better get your story right.
So the reason I joined With Touch, and this was 2-3 groups ago, was I've always been fascinated about what people find on these ghost hunts. You know, you see the videos and you hear the stories and whatnot, but I want to see or feel or hear what it is that these people are seeing. So I joined up. And I told them at the end, I said, I don't believe in any of this stuff, but I want you to make me believe. I want to see what you see. I want to feel what you feel. So we've done a lot together, and there's only one place that has things that I could not explain, and that's at Rosario Resort over there on Orcas Island. If any of you have ever been there, the whole island is sick with stories and weird feeling.
I want to say it's on an intersection with ley lines or something, landlines, whatever you want to call them. It's a nexus of some kind of weird power.
So Dutch has lots of videos where he sees orbs, right? You see orbs, and so and it's all dust and bugs to me until something otherwise proves it's not. Because when you're shooting with infrared light against, and infrared is very short range, so it's good for maybe 25 feet of illumination. So when something's floating in the air, the infrared light will bounce off of it and will pick it up as dust or bug. Sometimes when you think it's passing, it will appear to pass through things. And I'm still unconvinced that is something other than dust or bug. However, the two things that we ran into that I could not explain was one, we had, so Rosario Resort has been there for 100 years, a long time. It supposedly is haunted by the ghost of Alice Green, who was the wife of the second owner. She was a socialite. She was a Kim Kardashian, prime, right? So when she got married, her husband took her so basically she partied like an animal in Seattle. Her husband didn't like that, took her to Rosario, basically to lock her down. So she started inviting, people to come party with her. I can't go to the poker game's coming to me, bring some alcohol, bring some cigars, a good time. So she had a lot of good times. Her husband locked that down. So now she went from having fun all the time to literally living almost alone on an island.
Her and her picking these dogs.
Her and her dog. So she killed herself within the resort. It's a 2-story resort. There's an amphitheater in there that has a huge pipe organ, and there's a theater level seating that's up on top. And supposedly she jumped off and killed herself in the organ room. Oregon.
Hunters.
She hung or jumped. She might have jumped to hang.
Either way, it was jumping.
Yeah.
There was jumping involved.
There was jump to hang, maybe. So a part of the history of the resort was when she had all these friends over, the upstairs section. So there's a main floor, there's a balcony section, headrooms, and then above that there is basically an attic. And it's an attic now, but back then they actually had bunk beds up there for other guests to sleep in there. So the second time I nearly inked myself was when I went up into the attic. And God damn it, if they didn't have mannequins stored right when you walk in, right? So nothing like coming in the dark and all of a sudden there's a form standing right in front of you. So my job was, because at the time I was the smallest guy, was to go put up recording devices up there. So there were the 4 of us, 5 of us, the night manager, Christopher, the owner, Nathan. So there's maybe 7, 8 of us. And it was midnight to 2 when we did this. And all of us were downstairs on the first floor. When we pulled the recording devices out the next day, you could hear on the recordings it sounded like a party, you know, that chatter of 20, 30, 40 people.
I asked if there was anybody here.
Yeah.
And first time, the response was a child crying, like a baby.
Yeah, it was an infant crying. And it wasn't one of those, is that an infant? It was definitely an infant crying.
You heard this, like spirits.
Right? Not, yeah, so.
EVP.
Yeah,
through
the EVP.
So you listened to it as you were
No, it was afterwards.
It was afterwards.
Remember, this is the analog age, so we didn't have that capability.
Yeah.
So
it was literally a cassette tape.
It was like on a tape.
Yeah, real cassette tape. So part of our due diligence was always come in with fresh blank cassettes, never re-record.
And so mirror evidence on there, and it's
because you
taints or
because you'll pick up whatever came out on the old ones. So and the other thing was, and I don't know if he's shown you the footage of what is suspected to be the ghost of her dog in the hallway upstairs from when she jumped.
Nathan and Justin actually walked by from just setting up all the cameras, and right behind them, just walking along.
Yeah. So
can't explain.
So because I'm doing all my geometry tricks. All right. So what light is down here? Because we had little cams set up on the tripods, and it was about this tall. So to shoot down the hallway, we have some shooting low to high, high to low, and some going across. So this picked up on the low to high, and it comes down the hallway towards the camera. And it's no taller than the camera, so it's maybe 6, 8 inches off the ground.
The only thing we could think of, it had kind of a round face here, and then 2 round orbs here, making up a face. It looked like a Pekingese.
So for me, I don't know what that was. So I'm not going to say there was the ghost of a dog. Others can say it was a ghost of a dog. However, the fact that we could say it was a ghost of a dog got us invited back to do a presentation on Halloween night the next year. So which is kind of going to lead into what it is that I did for the group was gathering
skeptic and shattering our brains.
Yeah, that's dust. No, that's nothing. Because you're going to encounter 3 kinds of people. I totally believe in everything that I see and hear about ghosts and spirits and whatnot. It's complete and utter bullshit, but waste my time and go away. And then there's the third person, which is how can I take advantage of this situation? And so as for Christopher Peacock, with the emphasis on cock, he wanted to take advantage of the situation, which was, so we came in, we did these investigations, and we found these things. And so we made it an event for Halloween next year to come in, and we would show the evidence that we found and give a presentation, and we get to do a ghost hunt with the crew afterwards. And we packed that place the next year. And it was a blast. And what also that, for me, what that also was lead generation. because you get people who, oh, well, I have a aunt who, whose dog floats in the air and vomits green pea soup, and we got to find out what's going on. So, for me, it leads to more opportunities. So I get to talk to the other three people. I don't believe any of this stuff, and how can I take advantage of this? He gets to talk to the, oh my God, it's the spirit of my dead aunt, and so which is great, because between us we get to communicate with the three kinds of people that we encounter. So I still haven't seen or felt anything yet. I've been at this a couple of decades now, apparently. Jesus.
I gave him that shocking news.
So I don't want to dismiss anybody who has the fervent feelings of it. One, when we were down in Oregon, where we had in that little scary little town, where we had an intake form to have them fill out generic questions for us. So we don't have to do an interview all the time. Hey, could you fill out this form so we can see that? So
we get down to business.
Yeah. So they were experiencing lots of things moving and voices and And it's a really tiny house. And this was the one with the lynx, wasn't it?
Oh no, that was here. I was here in Washington.
Oh, she had a pet lynx.
She had a pet bobcat.
Yes. So
liked me.
Yeah, murder mittens as big as this thing here. I have never had a cat come up to my hips before. Right?
Have you ever seen a bobcat?
I've seen them on movies.
Yeah, they're big.
You've seen my golden retriever.
Was it an ocelot?
No, it was a bobcat. It was a big
Bobcats are short.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a predator.
Yeah, this thing was, it was, anyway, at this one house, because they all get confused, they were seeing, hearing, and hearing lots of things. Part of our intake form was, are you on any medications, right?
Yeah.
And that is where there was, every letter of the alphabet was filled out from
lithium,
Xanax, Prozac, So
so many conflicting medications, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, so the fact that they were able to at least communicate on our plane was surprising in itself.
There's no doubt they were seeing something.
Yeah,
but it was nothing we would be able to see.
It all came out of the bottles. So again,
and it's probably something, to be honest, we should probably have that as a group, so that when we're doing interviews is great, but we could, if somebody doesn't feel good about talking about it, we could give them a forum, just fill this out.
Yeah.
So who made this?
I did.
You did? Excellent. One of the things on here that I love, and I want to talk about a little bit, is don't believe your eyes. Our minds are playing tricks on you in the dark, so be careful not to interpret every shadow as a ghost. The other thing about doing ghost hunts is we all do them at night. We love that midnight to 3 shift, because that's when everything's fun and scary. But that's also, you've probably been up already for 12, if not 18 hours. And that's where, even without drugs, your mind plays tricks on you. Because in particular, when I am tired, I start to see rabbits. After hour 18, I will see small white rabbits running around. I don't know why. That is my indicator. My brain's going, you know what? If you're going to be up, we're going to give you something to see.
Isn't that what you're supposed to count? Is that cows jumping over?
Sheep. You're supposed to count
sheep
to go to sleep. But for whatever reason, I know that I'm exhausted when I see small rabbits. I know.
I'm out of here.
You're out, sir?
Yes.
All right.
Finding getting ready was set. Let's go try out there.
It's okay.
Oh, sorry, I interrupted.
You're okay, sir.
Cheers.
So, last time I saw you, you were clean shaven.
I know. So, I was much younger then. I was so last year. So, fatigue plays a big part in what you think you see and think you hear. And so you don't need to be a skeptic, but you need to be skeptical. So I am both. And that's to me, that's one of the best points on this 101 sheet is be skeptical and think of other explanations for those bumps in the night. And so that's what I spend all my time doing, because I do not believe until I see it, feel it, or it pushes me down the stairs.
Remember the EMF readings?
Yeah. So, and even in my in-laws' house, we did because it's just accepted that there's something else living in my in-laws' house, and nobody really talks about it. And we have this insane readings on one of the couches, and only on the middle section of the couch. Not over here, right there. You know, kind of like the video you were showing me, the EMF detector.
Yeah.
So in my brain, I'm going, okay, also we have electrical issues somewhere around here. So then I'm going to try to track it down. I'm not an electrician, but I know enough to know where things should or should not be.
That's a hail man you're rocking,
right? Yeah. So I look forward to all of us going somewhere together.
It's got him inspired. He's been watching our videos.
Yeah.
So
which, and I want to say, this is actually the best crew that we've been involved with, because usually we've had to carry the group to get them organized, to get them to want to make them want to. And it's exhausting to having to babysit people to get them to do things. So, and I've been, seeing the emails and seeing things, and so this is an actual group that wants to do things, and which is exciting for us. So it gets me juiced up.
This guy here, he wears a lot of hats.
I know, and he wears a really big one.
He gave me all the hats.
Yes, delegation, which we've been trying to do for 3 groups now, is to get people to give them a task and have them follow through with. But that it all involves motivation. So everybody here has motivation, which is more exciting really than, I would rather have people who want to do something versus somebody who thinks they know how to do something. So
the problem I've encountered though is I go into total dad mode, especially with this one. She's over there scaling trees and swinging vines. But you know what? The guts, I dig it. That's what we need.
Because that's why I got sent in to find the body or climb the attic, because
the one I couldn't fit.
So you couldn't fit, or everybody else was agoraphobic, claustrophobic, and I'm claustrophobic as it is.
I would have done it, but seriously, I couldn't.
Yeah. So I'll crawl into that small hole to go find out what's going on, but I'm not going to like it. So now we have somebody to call that small hole.
Yeah, I can do it.
All right.
What's the name of the resort?
Rosario?
That one's going to be a tough one.
So, yeah.
We don't know what happens. We honestly don't. We helped this guy. We brought in money for him. We got popularity for the hauntings of this place. He was monetizing on it like crazy. We tried to call him back to say, hey, can we, we want to return to do a follow-up. That's what we talked about with Tracy's team. Follow investigations, right? I've never been cussed out so much in my life.
Really?
It's like a switch went off in his head. He's lost his mind. I don't know. Maybe you can give it a shot, because
no, I don't.
Yeah, I mean,
it's crazy though.
And
we
keep asking. I don't know.
And so, yes, financial pressures. That whole island is weird.
Yeah, we
Just tell them about the X burger.
All right,
this is awesome.
You have a short period of time, right?
Yeah, I have to leave in a few minutes. Sorry.
All right. I'll
Give me the
short
version.
All right. So we get. I pick up on leads, right? So we get a lead. We have this guy who is experiencing things, right?
Across the island.
Across the island.
What island? Camino?
Orcas Island.
Orcas.
Got it.
You either get there by ferry or by plane, seaplane only. And a seaplane right to the dock of the resort. It was very,
It's very secluded.
Yeah, it's very
You fly everything.
because you go so the island, right? The ferry comes in here.
Yeah.
There's one road.
Yeah, all the way around.
And there's the resort.
All the way.
So you're
sidewalks all up at 6
you are
p.m.
nowhere
And
near
you got to drive
anybody else.
back around.
Yeah.
To the resort.
So
everything's shut down.
Or
except for the bars. I got a couple of bars that stay open.
So you're in a forested area.
BYOB.
It is
island.
It is nothing but dark, scary woods.
Yeah.
Positive energy.
And there's a couple little businesses scattered around there
for a day visit.
There's a little,
it's really weird,
little cafe over here that we did as well. And supposedly there's this bridge that has haunted apparitions walking across it. But anyway, so we get this lead from this guy who's seen things and da. So we go to his cabin
in the woods.
It's a cabin. It's not quite in the woods, but
on the resort.
Woods enough for me. He had an axe
near the resort.
It's so when I show you that trip, so about halfway between civilization and resort. So we go there and we start interviewing this guy. So he invites us into his cabin. So his cabin is the size of this room. We came in the door. We sat over there when we're talking to him, and we noticed by the door there's an axe, which is okay because he has a wood stove, right? So now Dutch is here, I'm there, he's here, the axe is there, and there's the exit. And then because I'm taking notes, we're talking about things, and then he creaked open his mind a little bit more, and that's when I started shutting the book. And I'm looking at Dutch.
Crazy, scary talk.
And
we're talking like, I hide the bodies in the corner. You know, shit like that.
It just went so awry that I'm looking at Dutch, and I'm going, oh shit. So now the exit's over there. He's got the axe. One of us has to go through him first. He can take a hit from an axe, probably.
Yeah, I think so.
And so he starts talking about how he has conversations with Jesus on the porch. So I said,
we have a time limit on our meeting.
Meeting. All right.
We don't have to end the meeting, but I'll have to start a new meeting.
That's okay.
Caden, do you hear that?
Okay.
I'm gonna send another link, yes.
So he starts talking about how he talks to Jesus on the front porch. And I'm going, okay, there's our out. And I said, can you show me where you sit on the front porch?
Me and him are like telepathy back and forth, just
because we got to get out of here. And so he takes us outside and he sits down and he's going, and so I had to ask, is Jesus here now? Right? So Dutch is making his way to the car. So he's getting his keys in his hands.
Getting it ready.
He's getting it,
not
he's
gonna
getting
leave
it open.
Getting it ready.
And then I see the recognition in his eyes that we're trying to leave. And I interpret that as, oh shit, he's closer to the axe than we are. Dutch is closer to the car. I got to get in the car. And he's going, you can't leave. Oh shit, until you hear my CD. So apparently he was the lead singer for a punk band called Gashole. And he wanted to give us a CD to listen to on the ride back. And I went, oh shit, that could have turned out really bad. And to this day, I still have that CD.
You listen to it.
How is it?
It's kind of screamo.
Garbage.
Yeah. Anyway.
Adios.
Bye, Heather.
Thanks for joining us, Heather.
Yeah.
She's like, sit between me and the door. I gotta get in the door. You out too? Okay.
It's all right.
Okay.
A couple of
Cool.
adventures there.
Yes. This is riveting. Cool, man. So we're not going there, sounds like. Now, how was he connected to the resort, this guy?
So he was a lead from Christopher Peacock, who said, oh, I know this guy. How he knew this guy.
He got you into the resort, though.
Yeah, Christopher was the owner of the resort.
Manager. Manager.
Yeah, manager of the resort.
And so he still is.
And he still is. And I had contacted
he's the one who touched us out.
Yeah.
This guy, Christopher.
Yeah.
We still don't know what the hell we did wrong.
And I have this CD.
Professional, where, you know.
Christopher has a CD too. This whole island.
Everyone's trying to sell you their mixtapes.
Because he plays, well, they have this huge pipe organ, and he plays the organ.
Yeah.
And so, so you get a CD of him playing various tunes on the organ. It's a beautiful organ. You got to hear it. It's fantastic to hear it live because you have that whole family opera vibes. So imagine an organ bigger than these walls, you know, and it's an amazing thing to hear.
And the resort is shut down now.
No, it's still open. It's still active. And it's an active.
Like
And you can book a room right now if you want to go to it.
We can't investigate though without that permission.
Yeah, but there was a hotel that's at the dock that supposedly we never made our
The Orcas Inn.
Orcas Inn.
We did do that one.
Yeah, like try that one.
We did do that one.
No,
Orcas Inn.
Yeah.
You tried Orcas Inn?
Yeah.
I didn't go to Orcas Inn.
No, the Outlook Inn. The
Outlook Inn.
Yeah, we went to that one, and they'll invite us back. They like this. Adam Parrish.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His family owned it. It used to be a cult back in the day.
Cool.
Yeah, they have a little tiny church about the size of this room that his dad's pictures in there, and it's almost like an altar.
Shrine,
It was
yeah.
weird.
It's set up that way now.
Yeah, yeah.
So are they
It was
practicing occult arts today?
He does weddings there now, so I think it was his
Which
dad's
is a cult
deal.
for some people.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That one we could probably go to, no problem. And that restaurant that we went and checked out.
Yeah, the restaurant.
Orcas Inn? The Outlook Inn?
Outlook Inn.
Yeah.
You want to touch base with that?
Yeah,
They like this.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, we need indoor investigations.
Yeah.
I know it's possible.
Because that.
It's coming.
Because I don't get scared, but that in the woods, I mean, we're not just talking dark as in no street lights, no houses, nothing. It is dark out there at night.
Yeah.
And so moonlight is the only friend. So when you find a glade or a clearing, it feels warm and comfortable. Once you start walking between the trees to get to the next thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That'd be great to catch on film. It's going to be a rainy.
It's very Blair Witch,
Yeah.
is what it is.
So yeah.
The one thing, if he can work it in their off season, is kind of like with Friday Harbor. You know, I was telling you we can get a discount. They actually hooked us up for free because their off season, the rooms are just sitting there.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the other thing I kind of do is, you know, because if we're going to come in, especially doing a business, because they will love to comp you if they don't have to pay you. So as long as there's no money changing hands, they'll throw you a room and you know.
I was never going to pay this. I mean,
Yeah.
You know, what are we going to get paid for?
get our own shed.
Yeah.
We got a little ways to go before that.
What's
I
that?
said we got a little ways to go before we're there.
Yeah.
So, and we had uniforms at that time. So,
Yeah, we did. We had
and
polos.
Uniforms.
Yeah, with our
I quit if we get uniforms.
yeah.
I said I quit if we get uniforms.
Hoodies would be
I was
great.
thinking like
If they're
beanies.
black.
I was thinking beanies
Yeah.
and hats,
I
stuff like
the logo
that.
on it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Something
Our
like
logo is
that.
pretty tight. I like our logo.
And to show our we had a film crew because we were going to shoot. We had a director shooting a documentary with us at the time too. What's his name?
Josh.
Not Josh. It was a spectacle guy. He was writing the book. He shot the scenes of Alice Reams there with his actress for his
Yeah,
documentary.
that was Josh, dude.
It wasn't Josh.
Yeah.
It's not Josh.
Because that's how we met Tom Proctor, through him.
Totally different thing.
Let's get those wheels turning, Dutch. Come on. Come on. Think with me.
He's an author and a documentary filmmaker, and that wasn't Josh. Anyway, I'll blurt it out tonight. I'll sit up in bed and it's
Yeah.
Come charging into my room. What the fuck?
All right. Well,
Okay.
thank you so much, Justin, for
Sure.
your information. And hopefully we'll have you on an investigation with us. That would be great.
That would be fun.
You know.